The day my wife gave birth to her first love's child. Episode 4. A life shattered. The weeks that followed were unbearable. The betrayal wasn't just confined to Audley, it felt like her entire family had turned against me. Her father, Dr. Sterling, a man I had once admired and respected, stood firmly by her side. "She's doing something selfless," he said during one of our confrontations in his office, his voice laced with authority. He leaned back in his chair, his piercing gaze cutting through me. "If you can't see that, maybe you don't deserve her." Selfless? The word echoed in my mind like a cruel joke. What part of destroying our marriage, of making a mockery of our vows, was selfless? And yet, here he was, dismissing my pain as if it were nothing more than an inconvenience. Her mother wasn't any better. She barely acknowledged my presence, treating me like a stranger in the home that had once felt like a second family to me. At family dinners, when I even bothered to attend, the tension was palpable. Conversations danced around me, as though I wasn't there, and I became acutely aware of every hushed whisper and exchanged glance. The hospital, once my sanctuary, now felt like a prison. Colleagues who had once been friends now avoided my gaze or spoke in hushed tones whenever I entered the room. The whispers were relentless, swirling around me like an ever-present storm. "Can you believe what happened? I heard he's still here. How embarrassing. She's pregnant with someone else's child, and he's just staying?" Every corner of the building held memories of Audley and me, moments of laughter, shared lunches, stolen kisses, and quiet hallways. Now, those same places mocked me, reminding me of what I had lost. I tried to focus on my work, burying myself in patience and procedures, but even that became impossible. The weight of humiliation and betrayal was too heavy to bear. One evening, after yet another grueling day of avoiding stares and sidestepping pitying comments, I sat in the darkened living room of our house, staring at the packed suitcase by the door. My decision had been made days ago, but I had delayed, hoping for some sign, some reason to stay. None came. Without a word to Audley, I wrote a brief resignation letter to the hospital, slipped it under the administrator's door, and walked out. I didn't bother with goodbyes, not to my colleagues, not to her family, and not to Audley. At the airport, as I waited for my flight, a strange mix of emotions washed over me. Relief, anger, sadness, it all collided in a storm of uncertainty. What lay ahead was unclear, but one thing was certain: I couldn't stay. By the time the plane took off, carrying me far from the shadows of my past, I made a silent promise to myself. I would rebuild my life, far away from the pain and betrayal, and become someone who didn't just survive but thrived despite it all.
Don't miss out on amazing content. Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Join our growing community today, and let's explore together.